Morning troops, this is Jeff Williams from Veterans United Against Suicide. Anyone that follows what we do will be aware that we lost one of the team recently, and yesterday we laid him to rest. It's Rob Bromley. It was very, very emotional day. I mean, I've got the programme here. There he is. Some wonderful photographs inside of the time that Rob served. And there's a lot of really nice words said. But as Rob would have wished, they were not gushy. They were the facts as they were. We all know Rob. We know what he did and what he didn't do. But one thing for sure, he was a lovely bloke and very kind-hearted man. His family were in pieces. A lot of unanswered questions for them. And the Brotherhood, not just the Royal Marine Brotherhood, which there was a lot of people there. I've got to say, a lot of the same faces who always make the effort. And there were people who travelled all over the place, from all over the place. Plymouth Mary, obviously travelled up from Plymouth. His sister came over from New Zealand. And there was lots of people. And it was a great send-off. And that's down to Davy Robb's efforts. He did majority of the work there, and it was fitting for a king. So that was that. I say it was emotional, but we went in there with the aim that we were going to comfort the family, and we were going to turn a sad occasion into a happy occasion, which I believe we achieved. People who were there will be interested in your comments, but I believe we achieved that. And from a personal perspective, you know, on viewing it and actually being there, you could feel the emotion, the love. You could feel the Brotherhood was there in force. And certainly when people say the Brotherhood doesn't exist or I'm not one part of it, you just don't realise what you're missing. It was absolutely fantastic. Excuse me. And I got a lot of, not pleasure, I didn't get any pleasure out of it at all, if I'm honest. But I got a warm feeling, a feeling of healing that only exists when you go back into the Royal Marine environment and you realise what it's all about. And that's what we did. And it was fantastic. Rob's mum, Edna, was absolutely wonderful. Definitely a Royal Marine mum for sure. And his children, Camilla is stunningly good looking, a really nice lady. Her husband was a good bloke as well. And then there was Rob's son, Tobias, and he looked pretty overwhelmed by the situation and very emotional. But he stood his ground really well. He's a lovely bloke as well, and somebody I'm sure Rob, well, I know Rob was very proud of him and his family in general. But when dark times descend on us, sometimes you can't see where you're going, and I think this happened in this case. And as we said on the day, Rob had the ability to help every single person that he come across, but he couldn't help himself. And a lot of us fall into that category, sadly. But again, that's a Royal Marine trait. Your brothers come first. You're irrelevant at times. It's how it feels. But that's where we are. It was a great, great day. Anyway, just to finish off, I want to talk about veteran suicide again. Sorry. So if you don't want to listen to that, let's switch it off. Lovely piece on BBC News this morning. Another wife stepping forward. They try and make a big deal of it as if, oh, we got two, exclusives. The truth of the matter is there's hundreds of women that could do that, but they choose not to. But it was great for the campaign to see it on TV. And I think that the saddest thing for me was Johnny Mercer's response. You know, as a former commando as well, it was appalling. It was full of rhetoric, full of nonsense. And you know, when your only solution is we're going to do some studies and we're going to pay some academics at university to study the veteran situation, when they haven't fired a bullet in anger, I just don't get that. What a waste of money. That money could be better spent on walk-in centres and PTSD centres and all the things that the guys are crying out for. Combat stress were a disgrace again. I mean, I know they've helped a lot of people, and I've had, you know, I get both sides of it. They help me, Jeff, and if that's the case, happy days. I'm proud of you. Well done. But there's more cases of they turned me away, broken promises. They said I could go in, have a residential course, and then it didn't materialise. And there's been billions pumped into that organisation by the government. And what have we got to show for it? Absolutely nothing. And the NHS, for all their, you know, there are good things happening in the NHS, but there ain't nowhere near enough. And they got slaughtered as well. They both organisations turned him away. And I think what really kicked me in the ghoulies, if I'm honest with you, was when his good lady turned around and said that one of the mental health nurses, believe it or not, turned around and basically accused him of being another serviceman playing the system. What? What are you doing in that job, love? You need to pack your bags and bugger off. Because that is disgusting. And it was a couple of days, not when she said that, but from what I can gather, from what I heard, a couple of days later, having been turned away by combat stress, then Lance killed himself. There's another article in the paper I was reading, a guy with really bad mental health problems, PTSD orientated and stuff like that. But when you read the coroner's report, they're trying to say everything but that. No, it couldn't have been that. No, it wasn't that. No, okay. Well, it didn't help the situation. But coroners, you know, they need to play their part as well, and they're not. So there's a lot that's wrong. Johnny Mercer, just be honest with yourself. You can't do it. Just back off. Ben Wallace, he's brilliant at flying under the radar. I've not heard his name. I think I've heard his name mentioned once in a year. He's ducking it completely as well. So when people say, oh, let's get ex-servicemen in there, former servicemen in there to sort our problems out, that's fine. But put the right ones in there. Put the ones in there that got a little bit about themselves and are happy to embrace the truth. We know it's not right. Every serviceman in the country knows it's not right. Well, nearly everyone. You've got the converted, obviously, like you always will do. But our guys are struggling. And something needs to happen, and it's not. So we've lost Rob. I say he was a great man, and he was there for me a lot of time to sound off and balance my points of view sometimes. I've been accused that it's not always the case that I'm right. Well, I know that, but at least I'm willing to say something about it. And most people came up to me yesterday and said, "You're looking tired, Jeff. You need to call it a day." And that's going through my mind as well at the moment, to be fair. What's the point when you're dealing with people who are in total denial, being paid a fortune? I do this for nothing. Why would I put myself through it? Why would anybody put themselves through it? And the answer is because of people like Rob Bromley. That's why we do it. Because we want to help the families. We want to help where we can. We know there's a problem. We've never had it good in this country as a military man. It's tough. But rest in peace, Brom. Brom I call him, because that's what I knew him when he served as a Marine with me. But he was good kid. Just want to have a quick look at him again. Here he is. Looking down on us now. Taking the piss, I should imagine. Having a few beers. Chatting the angels up and having a good time. There we go. Jeff Williams from Veterans United Against Suicide. Don't believe all you hear in the papers or on the telly. Trust me when I speak to people every single day. There is no way in this world that Johnny Mercer is talking to people in the know. He's not. And if you think that, then you need to go and check it out yourself. Hopefully some of the guys on the bottom of this post will admit that it ain't all right. But the bottom line is, guys, There are a lot of good people out there. Please reach out if you've got a problem, and we will direct you, or somebody like us will direct you in the right direction, and you'll get sorted. There's a lot of good stories of success where people have got through this. They've managed the situation, and a lot of it down is to a positive mental attitude and the love, and this is really key, the love of yourself, the love of your brothers, and the love of your family. If you've got those things in place, you've got a chance. Keep battling, troops, all right? Jeff Williams from Veterans United Against Suicide. Sorry I've been so long, but hopefully it's helped somebody. Thank you. Bye-bye.